Hey, car campers! How is everyone doing out there in car camping land? I hope you're well. I hope you're looking forward to a great springtime and summertime now that the weather is beginning to warm up. However, I am car camping here in Crescent City, California. I'm right on the coast overlooking the Pacific Ocean. I've actually been here for a couple of weeks. And stealth camping in the city, which that kind of adds a whole new dynamic to car camping. Normally I like to get out in the wilderness. Some of my best nights have been out in the desert with absolutely no one around. One of my best nights was in the Mojave Desert, just surrounded by nothing but sand and stars. But there is something dynamic about stealth camping. In the daytime, I'm out exploring, or I'm working in the library or at McDonald's or wherever I can set up my computer. But in the evening, I like to come into my car, put up all my window coverings, and just be nestled within the hustle and bustle of a city. It's kind of like I have my own private cocoon, almost like I'm hidden in plain sight with people milling about outside, having no idea that I am in my sleeping bag in my car. I just kind of really enjoy that. There's just something almost like an adventure movie or like a spy novel that I'm kind of hiding in plain sight. Anyway, I like that. One bad thing about stealth camping in the city is that sometimes my car gets really messy because I just don't have the freedom to open my doors and just make sure that everything's arranged. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to organize everything and get everything put back where it needs to go, because I am in a spot now for tonight where I can do that. What I was going to do was make a video. You can see out my window here that my camp stove is all set up. I'm cooking dinner right now. I am making, I bought this great T-bone steak. They were on sale at the store, so I purchased a really nice looking T-bone steak, and then a honey mango. And I'm going to kind of slice up the honey mango and try to marinate the steak as it's cooking. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm always adventurous and experimental when it comes to cooking, so I'm going to see if that works. What I was going to do was make a video showing you my cooking technique and also taking you on a tour of my kitchen setup as well as my pantry. But the wind outside, you saw me hop in the car a few minutes ago. The wind outside is just kind of whipping crazily about, and all of the audio is getting washed out. So I'm going to record the audio here in my car, in my Hondaminium, and then I'll make video and kind of overlay it in the editing process. So I hope you learned something about my kitchen setup. It's surprisingly simple. There's nothing really, there's nothing technical about my kitchen setup. It's just very basic. But then after I cook dinner, and tomorrow I will be on my way to the Redwoods, and I'm going to explore 2 different groves of giant redwoods here in Northern California. And I want to take you on those hikes with me because I think they're going to be absolutely spectacular. So I hope you're well. Take care, and I will see you. Oh, by the way, I am here in Crescent City, California because I've been working on a special project, and I'm going to show that in an upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. I think you'll really enjoy what I've been doing here in Crescent City. All right, I think my steak is ready to go on, and I have to slice up my mango, and I will see you hopefully on the next video. Bye. Space is at a premium in my Honda Accord. My pantry is tucked beneath my bed frame. That's where I keep dry goods like pasta and rice and grains. And I use these plastic cashew jars. I purchased cashews at Walmart, and when I'm finished eating the cashews, I just keep the jars, and they are a perfect storage device. So I have about 10 of those now, and I store a lot of food in those jars. I also store canned foods and other foods here, and I always try to keep a fresh supply of apples and fresh veggies. And then of course I don't have refrigerated storage right now in my car, so if I'm going to eat meat, then I have to go purchase that. But still, I eat fish and other meats 3 or 4 days a week, so it's not that big of an issue unless I'm camping way out in the wilderness and I don't have the availability of stores nearby. Boiling water and all hot meals are prepared on my Coleman stove. But wind is always an issue, and that's really, wind is the reason that I am recording this in my car right now. But wind can be a nuisance, therefore, when I'm cooking outside, I have this simple solution where I attach this Reflectix windscreen to my stove. I always am really careful that it's not touching any hot surfaces and that no flames actually come in contact with this, because I'm sure it would melt. But so far, so good. I've used this dozens of times and I'm just really careful with it, and I haven't had any issues so far. Coffee is an essential morning ritual for me, and I make it in my trusty French press on a daily basis, unless I'm at McDonald's. And then for $1, it's hard to beat a fresh cup of coffee at McDonald's. But if I'm out in the wilderness, I always use my French press to make fresh coffee, and I use a reamer and a plastic cup to grind my coffee beans, and it works well so far. Most days I only cook for myself. It's just me out here on the road, so normally, except for a few odd circumstances, I'm just cooking for myself. Therefore, I've streamlined all of my kitchen utensils to only the essentials. I rely on a small cast iron skillet and a non-stick pot. That's it. That's what I cook all of my food in. But I also have a spatula and a wooden spoon for stirring, and I keep it simple with a couple of plates and my trusty ultimate disc and a few knives and forks. This minimalist approach saves space and makes meal prep and cleanup a breeze for me. But cleanup is a snap, and I use my 2-gallon pump sprayer almost every day. I keep it on hand, and it's a simple yet effective way to wash dishes, to also to prep potatoes and veggies, to wash them off before I start cooking them, and I can wash my hands on it too. One thing I have noticed, that it's problematic that sometimes it'll leak, so I make sure to store this water supply inside a bucket and then inside a secondary container just in case it leaks. That did happen one time, and I had to make sure I dried everything out thoroughly, so now I'm just really careful. I embrace the fun challenge of prepping locally inspired delicacies, incorporating flavors and ingredients unique to each region I visit. Whether it's street tacos in the Southwest or a seafood dish on the coast, I love exploring culinary diversity all the time, and I try to incorporate those efforts into my videos, so I hope you enjoy them. There's nothing better than enjoying these meals while overlooking spectacular scenery. I'm always searching for the most beautiful places in our United States. And speaking of beautiful places, I'm now on my way to visit 2 groves of redwoods. I hope you'll join me on the next several minutes of this video. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video. All right, bye. Each time I visit a grove of redwoods, I just feel like I am a Lilliputian from Gulliver's Travels, surrounded by giants. Almost indescribable. If you have never visited any of the Redwood National and State parks, I definitely encourage you to. It's spectacular. It's otherworldly. So from the camera's angle right now, that tree might not look all that huge, but I'm standing probably, I don't know, 60 or so feet away from the tree. Watch how big it is as I pull away from the camera. Okay, so I am here just off the side of the road in the Redwood National Forest, and I have found this amazing tree. Just enormous, huge tree, and I want to know exactly how large it is. And part of that determination will be to determine its circumference. So let's do some dendritic science here on the side of the road. And so I'll show you how we're gonna do this for you aspiring scientists out there. So I have my field notebook here, and I'm gonna take my date. So it's 4/22/2024, and my location. Okay, so I have my date, my time, and my location. Those are the important factors. And I'm going to use this rope to measure the circumference of this tree. And because we're kind of on a slope here, so this side of the landscape is much taller than that side. Okay, so I've stretched my line out. This is the starting mark, and I placed a piece of PVC. That way I can visually see it better so I don't lose track of where I am, and another piece down here. As all good scientists do, I just happen to carry along a measuring wheel with me. My measurement shows that the circumference of this is 39 feet. Okay, so that gives us the perimeter. We can do the calculations of what the diameter is, and then I'm going to take this when I get internet service, and I'm going to look this up to see if this can somehow give me some sort of approximation as to the age of this tree. If I know the diameter, I can probably find out some rough estimates as to the age of this tree without actually doing a core sample. Okay, a little bit of tree science for all of you aspiring scientists. Okay, so I've made my way to the Tall Trees Grove access point. Permit required for vehicle access. Super easy to do online. Just do a search for Tall Trees access and then register your vehicle with your license tag, and they'll give you a code for the gate. A good point is that the code, I think, changes on a daily basis, and there might not be internet access up here. Yeah, I have no service on my phone, so make sure that you screenshot it or write down your code before you enter. Okay, I'm gonna look up the code, and there's just a padlock here. Padlock! Look at this incredibly massive tree that I have just walked under. Big. Oh my. Look at this. All right, welcome to another episode of Quick Meals at the End of the Trail by Keith. As normal, I came off the trail pretty hungry, so I am having a handful of cashews. Woo! And then I've made up some tuna and mayonnaise, and I might put a little bit of sriracha, or let's see, I have this tapatio sauce, maybe just a touch of that, and then I have a little bit of Parmesan cheese that I'm going to just dump in there, and then I'm going to put it on a cinnamon raisin bagel. That is a cornucopia of flavors. But the tip for today is I have, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I like to get these cashews, and I use these jars for containers, storage containers, because they work really, really well inside of my car. So I have one that is specifically designated for like spices and other things like that. So the tip is, whenever you go into a restaurant, which I go into restaurants occasionally, not all the time, because I try to cook most of my own food. But anytime I go in, maybe if I go to McDonald's to get coffee, which I do on occasion, I'll just ask them, hey, can you give me some mayonnaise? Or can you give me whatever? I went to Sparrow recently for a slice of pizza, and I was like, hey, can you give me some extra cheeses? So they gave me a handful of these Parmesan cheese, as well as some like crushed red pepper. In-N-Out burger, that's ketchup. I have a bunch of salt and pepper from In-N-Out also. And yeah, so that's what I do. If I go into a restaurant and I order a meal, then I'll just ask them, hey, can you hook me up? I do like mayo when I have tuna. So, hey, can you hook me up with some mayo? And normally, you know, they're normally pretty good. They'll give me a handful of whatever it is I ask for. So, I hope that helps for your car camping adventures. Honestly, there's really never a need to actually buy mayonnaise. At least that's my experience. Okay, hey, I hope that helps. I'm going to dig in to bagel and tuna. I've had a great time on this trail, the Tall Trees Trail, and I'm on my way forward. And I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. I'll know when I get there. All right.